I think like many people, I really enjoy brisket, but I don't always enjoy the price that brisket costs. So Dr. Barry actually sent me a video and he sent me a message with it and he said, hey, you should probably do something like this. I think it would do really well and help a lot of people. And it was a video all about alternative ways to get something like a brisket. So I took his suggestion because I think he's right. And I'm gonna show you a fake brisket, which is significantly cheaper, just as good, or honestly better. And you can do it in your oven, or if you want to do it as fast and simply as possible, I'm going to show you how to use the Tastee Air Fryer to do this as well. You don't need a smoker, although you could use this technique on a smoker as well if you have one. It's extremely adaptable to whatever your situation is. It's very budget friendly, and instead of paying all that money for a brisket and trying to find one, we can use chuck roast to do our fake brisket. It's actually really simple. This one goes out to you, Dr. Barry, today on Chris Cookin' Nashville. So I'm going to show you guys the 5 laws today of how to do fake brisket using something like chuck roast. Now there are other cuts you could do this with as well, but I think chuck roast is probably the best and certainly the easiest for me to come by on a really good price. This giant chuck roast in front of me was around $20. It was on sale. This same amount of brisket, like a brisket flat, would have been $35 to $40 here locally where I buy most of the meat that I cook. So the first law we're going to talk about for doing the most amazing fake brisket is the cheat code law. We're using chuck roast because it is not only a collagen-rich cut of beef, it is also full of intramuscular fat, which is going to make it superior to at least the flat part of a brisket. It's also easy to get it on sale. It's usually pretty budget friendly, especially if you watch those sale bills at your local grocery store. And chuck roast is honestly just easy to work with. Now, what I have done to prep this, another part of our cheat code, is to dry brine, because proper preparation makes a big difference in the outcome of this. So I salted this pretty heavily on both sides, left this in the refrigerator uncovered since yesterday. That's going to take a bunch of that extra moisture off of the outside. It's going to season and tenderize all the way through the meat, and it has now prepped the outside of this chuck roast for us to get law number 2 down perfectly, and I'll tell you more about that in just a minute. So we're gonna go ahead and get this cut to shape because it's such a big chuck roast. I don't think it's gonna fit in the Tastee Air Fryer basket, but that's all right. The leftover brisket I'm gonna throw in the freezer, and I'm actually gonna make sliced beef out of it. I'll show you how to do that in a future video as well, because there's a recipe in my upcoming cookbook that uses that. Get the Tastee preheating, and we're gonna talk about law number 2. Law number 2 for the perfect fake brisket is to get the bark phase done properly. Now, bark is normally developed on the outside of a brisket because it is cooking low and slow, usually on a smoker, creating that dry, dark outside layer, which turns into the most amazing flavor on the outside of your brisket. We may not be using a smoker, but with the Tastee, we're actually going to achieve something very similar. I'm going to use paper towels and just press and make sure there is no extra moisture. And this is already pretty dry because we dry brined this overnight. But just to make sure we are giving this as much opportunity to have a bark as possible, I'm gonna pat it really aggressively dry with paper towels, and then we're gonna put a nice coating of black pepper on the outside. Now that is optional, but it is very traditional, especially with Texas brisket, to have a thick coating of black pepper to allow you to get that beautiful peppery bark on the outside of a brisket. So I've inserted the probe into the thickest part of the chuck roast. That is the tracking section we need to be monitoring with the probe in the Tastee. So the first step of this, getting the bark, requires a couple of things. And this is why the Tastee is uniquely helpful as an air fryer to do this. And again, you can do this in the oven if you have a probe of some kind. You could do it on a grill if it was low enough. You could do it in a smoker, however you want. But the key to this bark is low, slow, and dry. That's what we're going for. The low and slow is not only going to break down the gelatin and collagen within the meat fibers and actually make this tender, but it's also going to dry the outside and create that signature bark that we love so much on brisket. So I have the Tastee set at 200 degrees. You can set it from 200 to 210. If your air fryer does not go that low, you're probably better off doing this in an oven. But if you have a Tastee, and you can get one at the link in the description box down below, you can set your air fryer very, very low. Because it also has a probe, we can track what's going on, because this is just the first step in cooking. We're going to bring the beef up to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, when it gets there, it's probably going to stall. This is a very common thing that happens when guys who are experts at making brisket are cooking this, and it's going to do the same thing in this chuck roast. It's going to stall at 165, but we're going to handle that when we get to law number 3. So to get law number 2 working, so we get a proper bark on the outside of our beef, we're going to set my now trimmed chuck roast fake brisket into the Tastee basket, and we're going to slowly cook this at 200 degrees until we reach an internal temperature of 165 Fahrenheit. Then we will revisit and talk about law number 3, the juiciness. The beef has stalled out in temperature. Anywhere between 150 and 165 degrees is where the beef is probably going to stall. Mine stalled at about 156. Anywhere in that range is fine as long as the crust and bark look on the outside of your chuck roast or whatever beef you would be using doesn't look like it's slippery and coming off of the beef anymore. So the beef is actually cooked, but it is not ready to eat, because if you try to eat it right now, it's going to be tough and it's going to be not particularly pleasant. So what we need to do is take it out, and I'm actually going to wrap it. And this takes us to our 3rd law of our fake brisket that is going to be amazing. And that is the law of juiciness. Let me show you how we not only tenderize and break down all of the collagen and proteins, but also keep this fake brisket as juicy as it can possibly be. We're going to add in a little bit of fat. You can also use some beef broth if you would like, and we're going to wrap this up before we finish cooking it. So I would recommend beef tallow or bacon grease. I have about a tablespoon of bacon grease here. We can just put this right on top of this beef, and we'll spread it around a little bit. Totally optional, but if you want a little smoky flavor, a little splash of liquid smoke will go right along with that fat and beef broth if you've chosen to use it. And now we're going to wrap this in butcher paper. Now, butcher paper is not the same thing as parchment paper. You could use parchment paper if you needed to. You really could use aluminum foil if that's all you have, but ideally, the best thing to use is this butcher paper. I'll link some in the description box down below that I'm using, so you can go get some if you like. The thing that makes this so useful is it allows a little bit of moisture to escape, so it does not totally soften the outside of your beef, but it does hold enough in that we can use a little bit of the steam to help tenderize and continue to cook that beef down while keeping it nice and juicy. So butcher paper is the secret. We're gonna put the probe back in the beef. I'm just gonna go right through the paper into the thickest part that I can get into of the beef right here. We're gonna set this back in the Tastee, and we're gonna cook this at 210 inside the Tastee with the paper until we reach an internal temperature of 203 degrees Fahrenheit. So we are going to, again, air fry it Set that at 210 degrees, and I'm gonna set the time all the way up at 3 hours, which is the maximum time the Tastee will do, but it should take a little bit less than that. It took about an hour and 45 minutes for the first half of this, so about another hour and a half to 2 hours should take care of this. We're just gonna let this cook low, and then I'll show you what we do to make it extremely tender and ready to eat, because we can't just cook it and pull it out and eat it immediately. There's another trick you gotta stick around for. Our fake brisket is just about up to temperature. Once it hits 203 degrees Fahrenheit, all of the collagen has broken down and the meat fibers are going to be nice and tender. But this is not yet where we're going to eat it, because law number 4 is the law of the wobble. And this is the famous jiggly wobble you see on really properly cooked briskets. We are going to approximate this to the very best of our ability as well. As soon as this comes out, we are not going to slice it. We are not going to eat it. We are going to put it in a cooler, not with ice or anything cold, at temperature. We're gonna let it rest for at least 45 minutes wrapped up in that butcher paper. An hour is even better. We're gonna let it rest, and then we're gonna throw it back in the air fryer just for a few minutes at the highest temperature, just to re-crisp and dry that outer bark right before we slice it. Make sure it's nice and hot. Do not skip law number 4, the law of the wobble. Rest your brisket before you slice it. And if you don't have a cooler you can do it in, you could put it in your oven or your microwave turned off, wrapped up in some towels. That would be a great way to keep it warm, or some other kind of closed container, but try to insulate it as much as you can so that it can sit and rest for at least 45 minutes, if not an hour. I'm gonna preheat the Tastee to the maximum temperature, and we're gonna give it 3 to 5 minutes to just kind of recrust that outside. And then we're gonna slice it, because slicing it properly is law number 5. We have rested it, we've made sure it's juicy, we've given it a bark, we have prepared it properly, we've set it up for everything to be perfect. Let's slice it properly and serve it up. All right, let's try the Tastee Air Fryer Fake Brisket and the Keto barbecue sauce, which is on the recipe card for you guys as well.
Fake brisket, huh?
Fake brisket.
Wow. All right. Well, I love brisket, so.
This much brisket at our favorite place to get brisket, by the way, would probably be like $50 to $70, depending on how much it would weigh.
It would be very expensive, but that place, their brisket is bomb. So
fantastic.
Let's see. Well, one, the texture automatically very tender. Just picking it up. Oh, wow. I really wasn't expecting that. I really enjoy this. The outside, nice and crispy. Love the coating that you have on the outside, the seasoning. Superb. The meat inside is juicy, tender. I get these little bits of fat that are just like these like flavor pockets. Your barbecue sauce, next level. Wow, 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 wow. If I were craving brisket, which happens a lot, I would be more than happy to do this. And I feel like, because, I mean, clearly it takes a while to cook it, but you have so much downtime. Like literally we've done a whole bunch of stuff in between filming today. I mean, it's really simple and it's really easy. It's really straightforward. I don't feel like it's labor intensive. I love that you do this though in the air fryer.
This is very easy to do and very simple to track, as long as you have some kind of a probe that is telling you what the temperature is. And of course the Tastee has one built in, so there you go.
I feel like we're gonna save a lot of money not going out to eat brisket.
Yeah, I agree. Amazing as any brisket I've gotten at our favorite place to get brisket. This is fantastic. Now, if you're going to make brisket, you gotta have something to go with it. So if you're gonna do that, you need to check out my carnivore potato salad video right over here. This is Chris Cook in Nashville, the beautiful Ash Taylor. Eat your meat, especially when it's a brisket done the fake way. Love your life. We'll see you in the kitchen for more recipes soon.
I am so glad that Dr. Barry gave you this idea. The man is a genius. I don't know what you're eating for dinner, but I'm gonna eat the rest of this, okay? This is on me.